fight demons by yourself. Okay? You cannot fight demons by yourself. All right? The Lord did not build it that way. Okay? On the earth for mortal flesh. Okay? He created demons to be stronger than mortal flesh. Okay? On purpose. All right? So that we would go to him for the armor. We would go to him for the protection. Okay? So if you feel like you're going in circles all day, you're having a lot of trouble, it's because you're trying to fight the demons by yourself and you're not going to win. Okay? You can fight them, but you're not going to win though. All right? At all. That's what I'm going into in this lesson. Okay? You have to arm yourself in the names of Yahweh Bashem Shai. Then you fight the demons. Then you can have success. You're not going to have success no other way. Okay? Let's read James chapter 4, verse 7 again. Submit yourselves therefore to Yahweh Bashem Shai. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Okay? Let's go to resist in the blue letter.
Strong's G 498. Antitasso. Antitasso.
It says to range in battle against, to oppose oneself, resist. Okay, so to range in battle against. Are you going to range in battle against a whole bunch of demons that's way stronger than you? You're not stronger than one demon by yourself. So how the hell are you going to be stronger than multiple demons teaming up against you? Okay, so when it says to range in battle against, you have to put on the armor. Okay, to range in battle against the right way.
I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak, Wadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same spirit and in sound doctrine. Lord willing that you continue in sound doctrine as a whole. And shalom to the Akwath, the sisters of this faith and this truth. Lord willing you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, Yahweh Bashem Shai has mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. This is a Lamby back to the brother GMS in Rome, Lions on Fire. He did a part 2, but the title itself just suck in with me, right? And it even had me thinking on it that, you know, we can't fight these demons on our own, let alone you can't fight this world battle on your own. You can't overcome this world on your own. So, Lord willing, this is edifying. The brother, he did a phenomenal job, point for point, just in this one video alone. So, this is Ephesians, the 6th chapter, and I'm going to read verse 6 to 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and in the power of his might, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against the flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Right? At first it said, be strong in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. In the power of his might, put on the whole armor of the Most High. Right? You're putting on the power of the Al-Hayim. We can't do this on our own. You got to put on his power, his armor, right? In order to walk in this ministry, to walk in this world. Okay? So this shows the real fight is against spiritual wickedness. You can't punch or reason with the spirit. So we as men and women of Yasharella are in a spiritual battle that cannot be won through fleshly strength, wisdom, or willpower alone. Every demon, whether it be lust, pride, or doubt, or your anger or unbelief. We can only be conquered through the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, through the Rakak Wadash, the Holy Spirit. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 3. It says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High, to the pulling down of the strongholds." See, our weapons is mighty through Yahweh, Ephesians 6 and 17, which is that spiritual sword, the word. So our weapons are what? Prayer. And we could go in the scriptures to add on to your prayer life, especially in the book of Psalms, right? Different points that men, did, either praying to the Lord, begging the Lord, which is praying, repentance, right? Fasting, faith, obedience, not physical strength. We need Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to overcome this flesh, right? Because if that's the case, we wouldn't need Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? If you could do it on your own. We go into the book of Luke, chapter 4, starting at verse 33, and we're going to read to 36, and it reads, "In the synagogue there was a man which had a spirit of an unclean devil, and cried out with a loud voice, saying, Let us alone. What have we to do with thee, thou Yahushai of Nazareth? Art thou come to destroy us? I know thee, who thou art, the Holy One of the Most High. And Yahushai rebuked him, saying, Hold thy peace, and come out of him. And when the devil had thrown him in the midst, he came out of him and hurt him not. And they were all amazed and spake among themselves, saying, What a word of this! For with authority, the power he commandeth the unclean spirit, they came out." Right? Right there and then. We need Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to pull these demons off of us. And even when you look at the apostles, in order for them to cast out spirits, they had to say it in the name of Yahushai. But you have to believe. Let's go to Matthew, the 12th chapter. And verse 28. "But if I cast out devils by the Spirit of the Most High, then the kingdom of the Most High is come unto you." Right? In the NLT. "But if I am casting out demons by the Spirit of Yahweh, then the kingdom of the Most High has arrived among you." Right? Or else, how can anyone enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bid the strong man, and then he will spoil his house? Right? Now, the kingdom of the Most High is Yahushai. But, of course, we know if the kingdom is within us, is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. What else? The Rakak Wadash. Because he said, by the Spirit of the Most High. Let me just slide to Ephesians 1. And I'm going to read this verse 14, the Amplified, real quick. And this is what it reads. It says, "The Spirit is the guarantee, the first installment, the pledge, a foretaste of our inheritance unto the redemption of the Most High's own purchased possessions, which is his believers, to the praise of his glory." And guess what? Us knowing that we need Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to do these things, he gets all the glory from that. When you're weak and you counting on him, he's getting more glory because you need him in your weakness. Right? So Yahushai overcame demons through the spirit of Yahweh, showing us the pattern. Okay? So let's go to Acts, the 19th chapter. And let's start at verse 13. It says, Then certain of the vagabond Jews, exorcists, took upon them to call over them which had evil spirits the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, saying, We adjourn you by Yahushai whom Paul preacheth. And there were 7 sons of one Sakiva, a Jew and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahushai I know, and Paul I know, but who are you? Now, I'm going to stop right there before we read the next verse. Now, verse 15 is a strong indicator. Yahushai, we just read in Matthew 12 and 28. Yahushai had the spirit of Yahweh. Paul had the spirit of Yahushai within him, right? When we see St. John 14:26 is going to come in his name that the Father is going to send, right? And that same spirit is of Yahweh. And the spirit said, but who are ye? So for any one of us that grows in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai in sound doctrine and in truth, you're more of a target for the demons on the left side, and they know you. If you're not of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you're already fucking consumed, because you are a product of a 2/3, a product of a vessel made for dishonor. Verse 16, the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of that house naked and wounded, right? And this is why a lot of us be dealing with multiple demons, like especially back to back to back to back to back. You want to evaluate yourself. What spirit you coming in today? If you're out of that spirit, if you even being attacked, this is my new slogan: stop, drop, and roll. Doesn't matter if you happy, excited, if you angry, upset, right? This is where lessons come into play, right? If you had a lesson that sticks so well, those should be the lessons that you put on when it comes to them times, right? Because those lessons are that Yahushai arm that he did to Paul when he started to sink. That's that lending hand, and it helps you rethink, like, oh snap, oh man, that makes sense. Or if you're good in memory, certain precepts that you came across, or precepts in certain lessons, and you have that understanding, those precepts should be in your arsenal, your notebook in your phone, right? Because instead of just trying to conquer it on yourself, I'm about to lay here and just sit here and think, that's not helping. Hey, and even some of us might have to talk it out with somebody else that's actually on fire. Somebody that might not be dealing with a freaking spirit or a demon on the left-hand side. And that fire, what is it going to do? It's going to spread and make you fire. Okay? So we can't fight spirits in our own name. We need Yahushai's power and covering, right? So let's go, because we do need the spirit to resist the temptation, and that spirit is going to be against the flesh. Let's go to Galatians 5:16-17, a classic. It says, this I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. They're contrary, right? They resist one another. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. So if you're constantly moving in the flesh, it's going to be hard for you to get in the spirit. If you in the spirit so much, it's going to be hard for you to get in the flesh. But it's sometimes we become weak, and it's easy transfer. You in the spirit, next thing you know, you right in the flesh. So only through the spirit can we resist the desires that demons feed on, let alone they know your little weakness, your little cravings. Okay, so this is Matthew 26:41. Watch and pray that ye enter not in temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Okay, prayer keeps us connected to strength, let alone while you're watching. You should be watching and knowing your weakness, knowing your little, and even if sometimes we stem from around those things, and it just happens that we linger in that certain direction and we feed it, but you can feed it little and then hurry up and brush that off. But some of us get absorbed by that little taste, that little pull, and then now you're just swallowed up. Okay, not talking about TD Jakes, but that's what happens, right? You're in a battle. This is why you need Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You should be telling yourself through this lesson, after this lesson, I need you, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So this is James 4:7, same precept we brought out earlier in this lesson. Submit yourselves, therefore, to the Most High. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. The only way he's truly going to flee is because we submit to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And the left-hand side is afraid of him. We seen what the demon already said, I know who you are. You are the Son of the Most High. So again, resistance only comes after submission to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. We have to, as an example of what a woman, a wife is, when she get a husband, is being submissive, the nation of Israel, even you men, you prophets, you women, you children, we have to be submissive to our power, full servitude. Faith and fasting strengthens us against certain demons. Let's go to the book of Mark, the 9th chapter, and let's go to verse 28 and 29. But I'll start at 27. It says, but Yahushua took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. And when he was come into the house, the disciples asked him privately, why could not we cast him out? And he said unto them, this kind can come forth by nothing but by prayer and fasting. Okay? By prayer and fasting. That is the key. So sometimes you could be dealing with something. You might have to go on a body shutdown right there and then. Because even when you eat, I'm just saying, sometimes your food can have spirits on them, especially with the GMOs, right? When some of us eat, we start to get tired, get relaxing, even you got to think when you go into work, you're around different spirits, especially those that might not be of the faith. You touching them, you talking to them. They got demons that they dealing with too. They might not be speaking on it, but if you can, go read Matthew 12, verse 43 to 45. Spirits leave people, right? And they go to another home to see if it's empty, if it's furnished, and if it's empty, in most cases it's going to try to come up in you. And if it try to go back home, what happens? It try to come with 7 more seducing spirits. So some battles require deeper spiritual discipline. Fasting humbles the flesh so the spirit can lead. Okay? Fasting humbles the flesh so the spirit can lead. Right? When the Day of Atonement, brothers is more in tune in the spirit when the Day of Atonement. But that is the example for all the time that you fast. And, for you women and children, the men is the true example, because majority of the brothers that I know, and when they're fasting, They're putting more time into Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Yes, it goes into praying. It goes into reading, right? But then you even see brothers flowing when it comes to like teaching hour lessons, back-to-back lessons. The Spirit is putting them in overdrive, right? Because now you're not consumed with this beverage. You're not consumed with this food or this snack, okay? So this is Psalms, the 34th chapter. Let me get there. Psalms 34. Starting at 17. It says, the righteous cry, and Yahweh heareth, and delivers them out of all their troubles. He's delivering them out after he heard them cry, because they need him. Yahweh is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit, right? A poor in spirit, right? A lot of us is poor in spirit. We need Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai every second of the day. Many are the afflictions of the righteous. Yes, we got some physical things, right? You got some financial things, right? You got, of course, health, right? Somebody else that's around you. But even more with all those things, it's a spirit attached to it. So we have spiritual afflictions. But Yahweh delivered him out of them all. It's Yahweh that delivers us out. We don't, you know? And when you even look at Proverbs 16:1, your heart and the words that come out your lips, it is all orchestrated by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So when you calling on him, when you searching for him, he put it on you. Cause we looking, I can't do this, right? Even the spirit within you is crying on to the Lord, okay? So deliverance comes when the righteous cry out to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, not when they try to handle it all alone, okay? So Yahushai already won the victory. We must abide in him so that we can overcome. Let's go to St. John 15, verse 4 and 5. Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye, except ye abide in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I am him, I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, ye can do nothing. Without Yahushua, we can't do nothing. That includes overcoming sin and demons. Abiding in Yahushua gives us victory, right? I can't do lessons unless I abide in Yahushua, right? It doesn't matter. Hey, it doesn't even matter if it's a Lamby back, if I had to watch other lessons and a brother brought a precept. It doesn't matter if I'm going through the scriptures off something that I read or a chapter that I'm actually doing, right? Or I want to actually go over the same lesson. We cannot teach. We cannot move, right, to feed the sheep without Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Humbly speaking, right? So Romans, the 8th chapter. Starting at verse 37. It says, nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that love us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of the Most High, which is in Hamashiach Yahushai, our power. Right? Our victory isn't from our strength. It's through his love and his spirit. For what Yahweh did for us, the nation, but who really benefit the elect, Yahweh Shai, we have that redemption through his blood. We believe that he did that. That's love. St. John 15, verse 13. Ain't no better love than a man that laid down his life for his friends. He called us friends, those that believe, the servants. You are his friends. Okay? So this goes back. A friend is depending on their bridegroom, right? A brother is depending on their brother. A sister is depending on her brother. Mothers, they depend on their son, right? 1 John 4:4, and it's a spiritual thing, right? Mother raised up her son, right? That's her son. That's her little man, right? And when we look at the relationship with Mary and Yahushai, Mary was worried about Yahushai. But one thing Yahushai said, I must be about my father's business. Luke 2:49. And what is drawn him? Because Yahushai had a spirit of obedience in him that Yahweh, he is. And this is the battle between the flesh, these spirits on the left-hand side. They want to come in between your judgment. Yahweh, he is. Is nothing that can stop. He is. Nothing on this side is better than him. Nothing. Right? You live and you die. And you go right to the Father. You don't go nowhere else. I don't care what belief, what religion you think you going to. So you better get on board. You can't stop him. You can't live without him. Okay? 1 John 4:4. Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. So the spirit of Yahushai is within us, and it overpowers any unclean spirit outside of us. Continue to have those spiritual conversations with Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So humility brings that deliverance. James 4:6. The Most High resisteth the proud, but giveth grace that favor unto the humbled. Pride makes us think we can fight alone. Pride make you think you can do it alone. It makes you blow up your head and think you somebody. Let's go to Galatians 6. Just because we just said that. Galatians 6:3. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth his own self. He deceiveth himself. We're nothing without Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You don't exist without Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You know, the love that you might be seeking for in a woman, or the love that you seeking for in a man, and even if you have bad judgment when it comes to men, you know, and even brothers when it comes to women, because we understand in Sirach 36 and 21, KJV and G&T, a man should choose a wife carefully. A woman can be with any man, but we understand scripture-wise, especially to the parents, give your daughter to a man of understanding. Most of the time our judgment might be off, you know, but for you men, it's really on your discipline and your order of how you order your household. What is your example when you presenting yourself to a woman? You should be presenting yourself as a man of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, where she should already be able to see what she's about to deal with, what she's about to get herself into. Okay? But guess what? None of us can ever come together unless Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai through the Spirit is picking. He's aligning and putting people to where they have to be. This is why brothers is being connected with certain sisters and attracting certain sisters, because you're fit for her. And sister, the Lord placed you for that man, you know, and this is even more. We supposed to be giving all the praise and the glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And even me saying that, the people you have around you, first speaking to you brothers that got the brotherhood, that is your other outlet of speaking of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Because if his other brothers on fire for the Lord and you dealing with something, this is where you call your brothers. Same example I'm saying for you brothers, you sisters, if it's sisters that's around that's of the faith, or if you have a husband, right, you should be cleaving to that spiritual help right there. Okay? So this is Psalms 51:17. It says, the sacrifices of the Most High are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. So deliverance begins when we acknowledge we're powerless without him. Right? Let me read that. Psalms 51:17 NLT. The sacrifice you desire is a broken spirit. You will not reject a broken and repentant heart. Overpower. In the CSB, the sacrifice pleasing to the Most High is a broken spirit. You will not despise a broken and humble heart. Right? And this is who the Lord is looking for. Those that are of a contrite spirit, poor in spirit, broken spirit, and a humble mind, a humble spirit, man. And this even goes, evaluate yourself. You know, examine your faith, man. Do you have that holy fear in Yahweh B'Shem Shai? You know, in order for you to get salvation, you need him to get you in the line now. Okay, let's go to a history classic, 1 Samuel, the 16th chapter, starting at verse 14. It says, but the spirit of Yahweh departed from Saul, and the evil spirit from Yahweh troubled him. That spirit, the spirit of Yahweh departed from him. So he wasn't moving in Yahweh without that spirit. And now an evil spirit from Yahweh on the left-hand side. So that unclean spirit from the left-hand side of Yahweh troubled him. And Saul's servant said unto him, behold, now an evil spirit from the Most High troubleth thee. So them same spirits that you dealing with is coming from the same source you looking for when it comes to having that spirit of Yahweh Shai. It's on the right-hand side. Let our Lord now command thy servants, which are before thee, to seek out a man who is a cunning player on a harp. And it shall come to pass, when the evil spirit of from the Most High is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well. Hey, what is our song over here that somebody's playing skillfully? Brothers that is teaching this word. We're going to keep on going because we want to go to verse 23, but it's a point, right? That even those that's not hearing this word. This is Ezekiel 33. And I'm going to just go straight to the point. Verse 32. And lo, thou art unto them a very lovely song of one that have a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument, but they hear thy words, but they do them not. So, hey, we sound good, but you don't take heed to what's being said. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet have been among them. And this goes back to what I said earlier. You could be dealing with something and you want that lend a hand, and you might think of a lesson that you heard. You're like, you know what? This lesson might help me. That's that song. Okay, so back to 1 Samuel 16 in verse 16. Let our Lord now command thy servants which are before thee to seek out a man who is a cunning player on an harp. And it shall come to pass, when the evil spirit of the Most High has come upon thee, that he shall play with his hands, and thou shalt be well. And Saul said unto his servants, provide me now a man that can play well, and bring him to me. Then answered one of the servants and said, behold, I have seen the son of Jesse, the Bethlehemite, that is cunning and playing a mighty valiant man, and a mighty valiant man, and a man of war, and prudent in matters, and a comely person, and Yahweh is with him. Wherefore Saul sent messengers unto Jesse and said, Send me David thy son, which is with the sheep. And Jesse took an ass laden with bread and a bottle of wine and a kid, and sent them by David his son unto Saul. And David came to Saul and stood before him, and he loved him greatly, and he became his armor bearer. And Saul sent to Jesse, saying, Let David, I pray thee, stand before me, for he hath found favor in my sight. And it came to pass, when the evil spirit from the Most High was upon Saul, that David took an harp and played with his hand. So Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him. Right? From these songs, from these epistles, right? You become well. And Saul, he said he found favor. We should be finding favor in these lessons, because really, if brothers is, teaching sound doctrine, leading you to 100% truth, it has to be a spirit behind that. And if that's the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that's the best way to fight spirits within you. But it's the same as you listening to this lesson. You have to be listening and taking what's being said, right? If you can't listen, don't put it on, right? You're moving around, you allowing yourself to be distracted. You're not going to win this battle. Again, we can't win a battle on our own. Sometimes we have to shut out. Sometimes you have to be able to be around chaos and still be synced in. Like, as an example, like me and a brother at work, it's loud where we at work, but we're able to put those earphones on. And I got the earphones that you can put the sound that's around you and close it out. I forgot what word it is on the earphones, but I can sub it out where the outside is you can't even really hear it, right? And it tunes the sound, and I can just focus on what I'm hearing. Sometimes we have to do those things, right? So Saul, he lost his protection through disobedience, especially if you read the account. The first one dealing with, he was supposed to kill all the Amalekites, right? But he didn't. So, but when David, a man after Yahweh's heart, played the harp through the spirit, the evil spirit left Saul temporarily. So this is our example to know what is the song. Let me get another one for that song, because it's just in my head now. Psalms 33 verse 3, sing unto him a new song, play skillfully with a loud voice. What is we playing? Right? First to the children of Israel, Isaiah 58:1, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, in the house of Jacob their sins. And we're playing skillfully, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. We might go into it. We might go into the history. We might get some proverbs. We might get some in the law, right? We might get some dark sayings. We might get prophecies, right? We're playing skillfully, okay? So, symbolic to how the presence of the Rakakwadash, Salaki, drives away evil, but only if we stay in obedience. This is another example of Yahushai. He was obedient. And I'm going to read this. We're about to get ready to close. 1 John 2:6. He that saith he abideth in him ought himself also so to walk, even as he walked. Right? We should be a reflection of Yahushai. Right? 1 John 1:7. But if we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship one with another, in the blood of Yahushua Mashiach, his son, cleanses us from all sin by his blood. Okay? Sanctified, we're pure. Psalms 85:13. Righteousness shall go before him and shall set us in the way of his steps. Right? This is why you when it come to winter, when it's mad snow, and you walking with somebody that got bigger feet, especially speaking like the children, they're walking behind their parents. and they're stepping in their footprint. It makes it easier for them to walk and keep up pace because they're just walking in that same footprint, right? The same footing, okay? Matthew 11:29, take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek, humble, and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. We're going to find rest in Yahushua. Learn of him. He was obedient, right? He knew that Yahweh, he is. You know it. He knew that it was all about his Father's will. He even said it, let this cup pass over me, but let it be thy will, not my will. Okay? He knew, right? This is not my doctrine, right? He knew that he was sent to do the things that Yahweh commanded him. What he kind of shows a reflection in St. John, the 12th chapter, verse 48 down. So we are not meant to conquer demons by our own strength. The only path to victory is for surrender to Yahweh Shem Shai, walking in the spirit, maintaining humility. Every stronghold falls when the power of Yahweh Shai reigns in our minds. This is why brothers always say, stay on Yahweh Shem Shai. Keep the thoughts of Yahweh Shem Shai in your mind, right? Last precept, Zechariah 4:6, not by night, nor by power, but by my spirit, saith Yahweh of hosts. By the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we are strong. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the one true power that always makes it possible. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakak, Wadash. And double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well through the Spirit, and a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit scattered four corners of the earth, teaching this word and believing this word, Lord willing, as a whole, that y'all continue in sound doctrine. Shalom to the Akwaf, the sisters of this faith and this truth. Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot and continue to be diligent and sincere. And Lord willing, Yahweh Shem Shai has mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in faith. With that, shalom, shalom, above all.